Hi, today we're going to be making a focaccia dough, great for calzones, pizza, or just bread. Okay, in my bowl I have 2 cups of bread flour. On my mat I have another 1 cup of flour here, 2 heaping teaspoons of Fleischmann's instant yeast. It's just some yeast I got at Sam's Club. I don't know how important that is, but that's the kind I use. It comes out really good. And again, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. It's good for the dough. 1/4 cup of olive oil, extra virgin. 3/4 cup of water, heated to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit to 110. And then I put 2 tablespoons of honey in the hot water to absorb a little bit of the heat. You're going to mix the water, flour, salt, and yeast in your bowl to get it going. This is a really nice dough. My family loves the pizza that we make in our pizza oven. Turn your flour out and knead for approximately 5 minutes. It's not important that it's kneaded a whole lot, I don't think. At least it's worked that way for me. I'm going to show you the beginning of that process. Just going to work the dry flour into our initial mix here. It'll be quite sticky at first, but as you incorporate the dry flour in the bread flour, it will start to form a nice consistency. And we're going to pause the video now so that we can start our fire in our oven. I'll show you that step as well, and I'll show you what the dough looks like after it's been mixed for about 5 minutes. We're kneading the dough. You can adjust the consistency by adding a few drops of water as needed. This dough is a little bit dry. I may add just a couple of drops of water, maybe half a teaspoon to it. Okay, we've been working the bread for about 4 or 5 minutes here. Again, I'm going to review the list of ingredients. Very simple recipe, approximately 3 cups of bread flour, 3/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1 teaspoon of salt, about 2 tablespoons of honey, and 2 teaspoons of yeast. We're going to put that in a bowl. The dough is going to look about like that size. And I've got my oven heating to 200 degrees. I'm going to put a lid on this and let it rise in a warm oven for about an hour. Your dough needs to rise in a warm place for about an hour. But I want to make sure you understand to turn your oven off if you're using an oven. I preheat my oven to 200 degrees for about 2 minutes, and then I turn the oven off. And then I place my dough in the oven for rising. So be sure your oven is off when you're allowing your dough to rise. I'm going to time the bread with my pizza oven here. I usually start the dough and start the fire at the same time because the dough has to rise twice. It rises the first time for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and for the second time 45 minutes to an hour. So it takes about 2.5 hours to get everything ready and get the dough ready to bake. And it takes the fire about 2 to 2.5 hours to burn down as well. So we're going to start our fire right now, and we will let that get going here. And so about the time the fire has heated the oven to the correct temperature and the fire has died down, we'll be ready to bake. And it times out just right usually to start the dough and the fire at about the same time. Okay, it's been about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and I wanted you to see that the fire is going really good. It'll take it about another hour to an hour and a half to die down. And in the meantime, I'm ready to turn the dough out. Okay, we're also getting some of the ingredients ready. I'm browning about a good size yellow onion or a sweet onion, Vidalia onion. And I'm getting ready to turn out my dough. So we're going to check that dough right here. We're going to see it's risen up a little bit bigger now. We're going to punch it down, and this is only going to take about 2 minutes. It's not that important that you knead it a whole lot, but you can see the consistency now. It's nice and shiny. It's not sticky, but it's not floury either. It's kind of the consistency of Play-Doh. And this is going to, we really only need to knead this just for maybe a minute or two. Okay. And then we're going to let it rise again. Okay, I wanted you to see the rolling out of the dough. We're going to try for 6 calzones today, so I've divided the dough into 6 piles. Got a really nice roller here that I'm going to use to flatten this dough out. It's nice and elastic, and it'll stretch really thin, and you want to roll it out into a oval or a round shape. And we will come back in just a minute when we've got some of these filled in and ready to fill. Okay, we're filling our dough right now. We've rolled out almost all of them. And let me give you a list of the ingredients. We have ham, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, some red sauce. We're using Newman's Own Saccaroni, my favorite. Mushrooms and our onions. And if you notice, the most important thing is not to put too much red sauce. You want them to be not too full of red sauce. So you can see that the dough rolled out really nicely, and we're going to seal it up really nice in here, and we're going to put them in our pan in just a second. I want you to see that as well. So I want you to see how nice this dough is and how flexible and pliable and easy to work with. You want to make sure you seal it down really, really good. We're going to let these rise one more time for about 20 or 30 minutes so that they'll have a little bit of texturing inside when they're baked. But look at the texture on that, how easy that is for me to handle. So I take it over and put it in the pre-greased pan. Okay, here they are, ready to go into the oven. They've been rising up a little bit, and as you can see, they are quite pretty, except for the one that has a little bit of sauce smeared around the outside. We're going to take those over to the oven and pop them right in. Okay. The oven's good and hot, and we're putting them in. Set our timer for about 4 minutes. And here is our finished product. That oven was extremely hot, even hotter than I estimated. If you cook them in a regular oven at home, you need to cook them at about 500 degrees for approximately probably 7 to 9 minutes. These only cooked about 6 minutes in that wood-fired oven. I'm going to show you the bottom of one. That one's a little brown. Bottom is a little bit done. Bottom is prettier right there. But they are going to taste really nice.